Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the two new fragrances from Elizabeth and James. Elizabeth and James Nirvana Amethyst and Elizabeth and James Nirvana French Grey. If you'd like to know what I think about these fragrances, and then keep watching. Wondering where I am, this is my nephew's bedroom. They are out of town. They evacuated for Hurricane Irma, and because my house is out of power and they have power, I am staying here for a few days. So this is the best spot for me to film, thus the kids' room and the toddler toys, but it's all in good fun. In fact, usually I'm surrounded by toys anyway. I do like to collect a few toys here and there. That's not what you guys are here for. You're here for the juice. So we're gonna talk about this. You guys have actually asked me to review these when they were first announced, and I was really excited for them. You guys know I'm a huge fan of the Elizabeth and James fragrances. I have the original four: black, white, bourbon, and rose. So I was really excited to get my hands on these, especially when I was reading about the notes and how they were supposed to smell. They really got me excited. So I'm going to be reviewing both of them in this video. I'm going to be doing quick little reviews for you guys. I'm going to let you guys know about the projection, its longevity, and how the fragrances develop on the skin. So let's go. First one I'm going to talk about is French Grey. Now this is Neroli, Lavender, and Musk. These are all marketed as feminine unisex fragrances, but of the entire line of Elizabeth and James fragrances, I find this to be the most masculine version of any of their fragrances. This has a beautiful, crisp, slightly floral, aromatic opening, and the musk is really nice. It's crisp, it's musky, but it also has a little bit of a powdery feel to it in the background. Now, what I like most about this fragrance is the fact that it is so crisp. It is a little bit bitter, but I love aromatic fragrances. And I love aromatic fragrances because sometimes you want heavier fragrances, sometimes you want a little bit fragrances with a little bit more complexity, but sometimes those fragrances can be a little hard to wear in the daytime or in hot climates or in summer months. So aromatic fragrances are a great way to get all of the beauty of heavier fragrances while being able to wear them in daytime or in the summer months. And this is definitely one of those fragrances. It has this beautiful richness in the background to it, but it's really the striking opening is what won me over with this fragrance. You've got the beautiful floral lavender, like herbal, just aromatic. It's a word I'm going to use a lot for this fragrance. And then you've got, it's nicely balanced with the neroli, which I think gives it a tiny bit of sweetness, kind of balances out the musk in the background. Now the only thing I have against this fragrance is the fact that the opening doesn't last very long. In fact, after the first 2 to 3 hours, you're left with more of a very musk fragrance with an aftermath or an afterthought of neroli and lavender. And this fragrance longevity is about 6 to 8 hours, which is really, really nice, and it's really easy to wear, and you can definitely reapply if you want that opening again. But the only thing I have against it is the fact that it doesn't last as long in the opening, and it does kind of diminish to a pure musk scent. And that musk scent is still really nice because you do still have the wisps of lavender and the wisps of neroli in this. And I think it's genuinely a really beautiful fragrance. So I would say if you fell in love with the opening and you want that opening to last longer than 2 to 3 hours, maybe try a sample of this first. But I do think that although the opening only lasts for 2 to 3 hours, overall it's a really beautiful fragrance. It's actually the one I'm wearing today. I really, really enjoy it. Alright, next up we have Amethyst. And Amethyst is really exciting. This is the one you guys have really been asking me to review for you guys. This is honeysuckle, tobacco, cedarwood, and then it also has some spices in there. Now what I like about this one is it's smoky, it's sexy, it's got that beautiful woodsy notes in it that's a little bit warm and spiced, and the honeysuckle just kind of sweetens it up a little bit and definitely lightens it up a little bit too. The best thing about this fragrance is the fact that if you like tobacco fragrances, or you like those woodsy spice fragrances that are usually more appropriate for evenings or more formal occasions, this is a great one that you can wear in the daytime, and this is a great one that you could wear in the office. And I think it's definitely because of that honeysuckle. Kind of cuts through the tobacco, cuts through the cedarwood, gives a little bit of a sweetness, a little bit of a lightness, but it doesn't take away from the beautiful smoky tobacco and spice notes in this fragrance, which makes it warm and delicious. I do really like this one a lot. Again, if you guys like smoky fragrances, if you guys like woody fragrances, and you're looking for something that's a little bit more appropriate to wear day to day, or to the office, or to school, or in the daytime, or a daytime to evening fragrance, if you're looking for something like that, Amethyst is definitely a winner. It also has pretty good longevity, about 4 to 6 hours, a little bit less than the French Grey, and its projection is pretty moderate. It's not quite arm's length, but it is not so much of an intimate fragrance. So if you're sitting next to somebody, you're definitely going to be able to smell your fragrance, but it's not going to be too overpowering. Now, I do like how both of these are completely different than other Elizabeth and James fragrances. I know some people say that Amethyst is almost identical to bourbon. I don't really get that, other than the sweetness of it, and the sweetness of the bourbon comes from the vanilla and the bourbon, and the sweetness of Amethyst comes from the honeysuckle. So it just kind of had that sweet kind of day to evening vibe, also the same with rose, but this is definitely something a little bit more on the masculine side, rather than the rose or even the bourbon could be seen as more towards a feminine fragrance. Now, what I like most about Elizabeth and James fragrances are two things. They're generally marketed as feminine fragrances, but they are completely unisex. The rose and the bourbon are a little bit more sweeter than the other offerings, so those tend to lean a little bit more on the feminine side. But these both right here tend to lean more on the masculine side, specifically the French Grey. So they're really terrific fragrances, perfect for daytime wear. I would say the Amethyst you could wear in the evening. I mean, you can wear whatever you want, wherever you want, it doesn't matter. This is just my recommendations. But the Amethyst is a good day to evening fragrance if you could only throw one in your bag. Definitely one I would recommend. The other thing that I like about Elizabeth and James is the fact that all of their fragrances tend to be really simplistic and minimalistic. And that's been a trend I've been seeing in a lot of contemporary fragrances, specifically from designers. They focus more on like 2 to 3 notes and really work to make those notes shine, rather than have like a complete library of like 10 to 20 different notes to make a really complex fragrance. Now, I love those really complex fragrances, and I like fragrances that have a lot of depth and things going for them. But there's something really easy and very sophisticated about minimalistic fragrances that are done correctly. I do think these are 2 minimalistic fragrances that are done correctly. They're really, really beautiful. And you guys know I'm a fan of Elizabeth and James fragrances, so obviously I might be a little bit biased. So I would definitely recommend sampling these first before you purchase them, but I do think these are really great, and I have been wearing them and loving them, and was really excited to finally be able to get my hands on them. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, or have you tried these fragrances? Do you like them, don't like them? Do you think that they're similar to other things on the market? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, guys, if you like these videos and videos like this, remember to give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing videos like this. And also don't forget to subscribe, because it's free and I'm free. And I put out new videos every Monday through Friday, and sometimes on the weekends as well. So always there's something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever. And I'll see you next time. Bye!